how we met is kind of even embarrassing. Like, the man messaged me on Facebook. Just embarrassing. Like, that's how you know this was just doomed from the start. The man messaged me on Facebook and he didn't even have a profile picture. It was just black.
Yep, stay away from those ones.
Yeah. That should have been a sign. Like, I was so stupid. Whose friend? I don't claim me right now. Nobody claim me right now. God, my head looks so big.
No, you don't. You look
Maybe
cute.
just sit back a little bit.
You look cute.
That's gonna make my head look smaller?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it did. It's as long as this, bro. Oh yeah, it is. Literally. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have another, I guess, breakup video for you. Fuck, I don't even know what to say. I'm like so nervous right now.
Don't be nervous. Just Escala's here.
Scales. How did I meet this loser? Okay, I got a message on Facebook. It's kind of an L because this person didn't even have a profile picture. Yeah, obviously I was desperate. So he messaged me saying like, I don't know, some shit like, I'd like to get to know you or some shit like that. And I guess conversation just sprouted from there. Before you know it, we were talking like every day, like video calling and shit. Things were getting like kind of serious kind of quickly, even though we hadn't met each other yet. A month and a bit actually of us talking like over Facebook and shit. He invited me over to his house. So I went to his house. Basically the rest was history from there. I came back that weekend and I was his girlfriend, so that went really quickly. But yeah, so we were together for almost a year, like 11 months. This relationship was definitely not like my last relationship. This relationship was very toxic and abusive, both mentally and physically, and sexually, I guess too, now that I think about it. For the first 2 months of our relationship, I didn't see any toxicity, to be fair. Like, he very much hid who he was to me. And it was easy because I only saw him on weekends because he worked through the weekdays, and like, of course it was like the honeymoon stage, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it
and their honeymoon stage was different. I remember every single time I went to Talia's house, she would be on the phone with this man.
I had to be on the phone 24/7. And it's crazy because at first I thought it was like something just cute. Oh, like he just wants to talk to me all the time. Later on I kind of realized it was just because he was extremely insecure. And if I wasn't on the phone with him, then I was cheating. I had to sleep on the phone. I had a second phone that was plugged in at all times, where I would hang up on like my actual phone, you know what I mean, when we're ready to go to bed, and then I'd go onto that phone and then be on all night, and then when I wake up, switch to the next phone. Like, the only time we weren't talking to each other is when he was physically working, and even then, if he could be on the phone, he would call me and just be on the phone, like just listening to my conversations or just listening to what I was doing with who I was with. It's so crazy. How do you not realize that's so fucked up? I don't know. It was just before Christmas where things got bad. I don't remember what we were arguing about. I don't think it was anything serious. That was like the first time like he got physical with me, and like it was it's funny because in the moment I thought it wasn't that bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, it's not that serious, but like it's kind of that serious when like your significant other literally chokes you out and throws you to the ground and leaves your head bleeding. Like, I don't know, but in my head, I guess I just didn't want to believe that that was the case. And I think I also didn't want to look at myself as a victim. I didn't want to look at myself like, oh, well, I let that happen. Like, you know, like that didn't happen. That was not fun. I literally spent the first week like in his basement. And like when we had to go out for like holidays and like his family dinner and stuff like that, like I had to like put makeup on or like try to cover my head because it was like bad. And I didn't come home for like 3 weeks because I already knew if I came home, my mom was gonna be like, what the fuck? Because it was obvious. Even his mom asked about it, but he just lied. And he was like, oh, we were just play fighting and she fell. I don't know why I'm laughing, it's not funny, but
yeah, but it's just like wrong.
I don't know. Like, yeah, that was the first time. That was the 3rd month of us together, and I stayed with him for 11 months. I don't know.
I didn't even know that happened until right now.
Oh, I thought you knew about that.
No, you never told me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was the first time. That was like in the garage, I believe. And then the second time was I think it was like 2 months later, again, about something dumb. He basically did the same thing the second time. He like ran towards me, like charged, like from the bottom of his basement, like a fucking bull. And then went running and like picked me up by my neck. But at this point, I guess because he had already done it once, I kind of knew how to react. So I didn't fight it, if that makes sense. Like I just kind of like stood there, and like that was kind of making him more mad. And then like I think he got, what was it? I think he got a screwdriver or some shit. And like we were on the bed and he was like on top of me, and like he was like threatening to like stab me with the screwdriver. I knew he wasn't gonna do it, but like, yeah. And then I'm pretty sure his mom came downstairs and was like, what the fuck's going on? And he was like, oh, nothing, nothing, nothing. I don't know if I was crying. I probably was. I don't know how he always got out of these situations with his parents, like knowing and hearing and coming down and literally seeing things. I don't know if it was because maybe I didn't straight up say something, or if it was because they don't want to look at their son in the worst way. Like,
I don't care if my son is doing that to his girlfriend. I don't care if you're my son or not. You're getting fucking beat, number one.
She was captured on video disciplining her son.
I mean, at the point where you come down and I'm on the, like, I'm telling you to get off of me and you're on top of me, you know what I mean? Like, I guess, like, just from that you look guilty, I feel like, in anybody's eyes. Yeah, that was that time. I remember that too. That was fun. Good times, good memories. I think the third time was probably the worst because I blacked out because my head hit the concrete when he pushed me. Well, I'm being polite when I say push because it was more like attack. It was always over something so minuscule and so stupid. Like, it would be over weed or like food or like him just being in a shitty mood because, I don't know, because he lost his fucking 2K game. Or he'd be mad at his baby mother a lot of the time, and for whatever reason that would stem into our relationship. I didn't even talk about the fact that he was cheating on me.
You have to get into that. You have to say it in chronological order.
This video is gonna be a mess. Oh my god. Hopefully people can keep up because we had a fight here, and he put 3 holes in my wall. I had caught him basically emotionally cheating on me. He was sending emails to his child's mother confessing his love and saying that he was still with her and that he's just with me to basically just be with me, and all of this is fake. I found one of those emails and our relationship was like kind of rocky at that point because we had already gotten to like that first physical altercation, and then I found that email. So I was really ready to leave him, but he obviously convinced me to stay. And then we were at my house. He brought her up, or it got brought up, and we got into a fight about that. Yeah, so basically he was just screaming and acting a fool. He punched a hole in, not my front door, but right next to my front door as he was leaving, quote unquote. My mom was there and she was talking to him, and then I heard some big punch and I was like, what the fuck? And I remember by the time I walked out, they were already downstairs, like in the lobby with my mom, still talking to her. And then ended up coming back into the house that night. I don't understand how that even happened. I don't know why my mom even was like, come back, because I don't understand why he even punched the, like, none of it makes sense to me. But he would do a lot of things like that that just like didn't make sense. Like, we got into an argument about his baby mother again, like because he was messaging her, or again, something was brought up and we got into an argument and he smashed his phone. Now that I look back, he definitely smashed his phone because he didn't want me to see all the evidence. Because there was so much more than what I knew at the time. He didn't just send her one email, like this, like he was sending her emails every day and she was never responding. Like, you have to bear in mind, she lives in a different country. She is with somebody else. Like, no interest. So I just remember it was saying he loves her and he wished he could be the husband and the father that he should have been, and like he realized that he fucked up and like it was all his fault in the relationship.
He could not control his anger. He was even at my house and got angry at me, and I didn't even do shit to this man, and he has beef with me. Hey guys.
She wants to take out her Invisalign, oh gosh. So she doesn't have a lisp.
Because Talia makes fun of my lisp.
I imagine you with the most reflective glasses on, Destiny. They probably can't even see you.
It's good. It's better they don't see you. You know, like, he seems like a nice guy.
He's very outgoing. At first he's very nice and very polite, and you're like, oh, like he's so sweet. I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but I feel that he does nice things for people just to like hold it against them.
I'm gonna show you guys an example right now. So basically, I used to work, where was he dropping me off to? So literally, guys, like I could walk to it from my house. And like during this time, I remember he would drive around with Talia. They would like go to the mall and stuff. And sometimes he'd be like, oh, do you want to forward, or like, we're going somewhere, we can drop you off to work. So I was like, bless, like I really appreciate the ride, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, that's really nice of you guys. So he would do stuff like that, and then
yeah, he took us to get the camera. Oh, took you to get the camera. This camera.
Because I said I was gonna get a camera, and how did this even occur? He was like, oh, it's okay, we'll just drive. Because I think I was gonna Uber, and I was like, okay, God bless, thanks. He also had a YouTube channel. So he was like, oh, like, you're starting YouTube, but I was like, you guys should make a couples channel.
He begged me to do a couples channel for, like, since we got together. Like, it was always a thing. I was just really I don't know, I didn't want to do it because I was like, at first I wanted our relationship to build, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm like, I want to be together for at least a year before we, like, throw ourselves on the internet like that.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And like, at the time, I had no social, like, I had social media, but I had no YouTube. Like, I didn't do this, so I wasn't comfortable. Like, I don't know, I was, like, really, like, I don't know, I don't want to do it, but then he just convinced me. Okay, fine.
I was like, yeah, I could help you guys. That day that he was over here, I couldn't do it. Like, school related.
Yeah, I think it was a school thing.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, like, I don't know if I can do it today, like, because it was just, like, really overwhelming, like,
yeah, you forgot, I think you forgot you had it or something, and then you realized, like, you had a test.
But he was always here, so I'm like, okay, you know, like, we're just gonna have to either, like, do it after, and he was just like, oh, Destiny's a fake bitch, da-da-da-da-da-da, but it's like, I was gonna, like, go out of my way to help you make your whole YouTube, or you're calling me a fake bitch just because I had something that happened.
I thought you were gonna talk about the whole,
No, that happened after, but he already didn't like me from that time.
I didn't even remember that happened. Or
yeah.
Maybe, did I know it happened or did I not remember? Because I feel like I
got over it.
Yeah, because I talked him out of it. I probably was like, could you stop being extra?
Like,
yeah,
bro, relax.
Yeah,
like trying to talk sense into him, but he was pissed. But anyways, like somehow he got over it, and I was like, you know, I'm not gonna be petty. Like I'm gonna still like help them do whatever. But then I think like the footage got lost or something happened. Either way, the video didn't end up getting put up.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God actually. But also during this time I was talking to somebody too. They were not my man or anything, but like it was kind of,
it was a little
flowering.
FaceTime thing all the time. Like, you know, it was one of those, like, they're talking.
And he booked that was happening because I would ask, like, my best friends for advice. So I would go to Talia's house and I'd be, like, talking about my little fling, like, asking her for advice. And, like, he obviously peeped the conversation and now he's chiming into it, too. And he's like, don't talk to him, he's a waste dude, he's from Brampton, da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, funny.
That wasn't wrong. No. He actually wasn't wrong there, but we all told you that.
Yeah, he had a point there still. But at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna take your advice, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want to do. So
yeah, like whatever.
I was at my crib, okay, and I'm on FaceTime with the man. Like, he's on my laptop, and we were watching a movie together because we used to do that cute shit, like 1, 2, 3, and we'd start a movie watching, whatever.
I walked straight to the back because I was trying to look for something. So I really didn't hear what was going on. All I heard was yelling. And I was like, wait, what? And it didn't sound like a joke anymore, you know?
No, it was not a joke.
I was like, wait, what? What happened?
And I was so confused too, because like, I don't know, he just didn't know his place with certain things. Like, even like the way he would call like all of Talia's friends, like really sporadically, was like, oh my gosh, like you're doing the most right now. Like, you don't need to call all of her friends like 10 billion times, it's okay. But anyways, okay, Talia went down the hallway, whatever. And then he went to my kitchen to get juice. He went to get juice. So that's how me and him were talking, because the living room and the kitchen are connected.
Oh, he was really comfortable. He was comfortable. Holy.
I mean, this guy didn't really come to my house like that. I think he only saw my house one time. And he never like went in my house. It was just like the front door.
Nice, come in, get juice.
I was like, okay. Shit, I'm not gonna say anything, like, I don't care.
I mean, it's not the end of the world until...
Like, I don't care, but just be respectful. And this man was not respectful. He peeped that I was on FaceTime with the same man that I was talking to Talia about. And he's like, why are you on FaceTime with that waste you, da-da-da-da-da. And mind you, the guy's on FaceTime with me, like, right here.
He could see him. Didn't he talk to him
at point in time? Yeah, he could see him. He was like, oh, your waste, da-da-da, from Brampton. Like, and not in a joking way. Like, he was
laughing
serious.
Because I'm like, why was he so angry?
Yeah, he was like, why are you talking to him? Like, and I was like, bro, relax.
Because if you even take it into, like, the age difference, like, at the time he was 28, he's now... older, but like.
And I was 20?
Yeah, and so how old the guy you're talking to was what, 22? Or no, he was younger.
He was a year younger than me.
19.
So you're talking to somebody a whole 8 years younger than you, calling them a waste student, telling them to get off the phone? Like, excuse me, do I know you? He never met this guy from anywhere, and he was talking up to the man, and then it escalated. He was like, yeah, where are you? Give me the address, I'll come right now. And he was basically saying that he was gonna come and beat up the man. I'm like, how did it escalate to this? I'm like, sir, just relax. You're not beating anyone up, first of all. Like, no, you're not. What? Like, I was so flabbergasted.
Did that actually what he said? He said he was gonna beat up the man?
Yeah, like he said, I'll come. Like, you wanna fight? Like, you know? And I was like, no, if you're gonna fight anyone, it's gonna be me. Remember I said something like that? But I was joking, like I was laughing. And he's like, yeah.
The point where I was like, where it was you and him gonna fight, because I was about to say that's when I was like, what's going on?
He was like, I'll box you. You know, like, you're not gonna box anyone. You could box me, but you're not gonna box him. And I was even laughing when I said that. And the man was in my kitchen getting angry. Like, his fists were like this. He was like, yeah, doesn't he want to box me? Come hit me that. Come hit me right now then. Box me in my face then. Box me in my face.
Oops.
Kelly's just like, oh fuck. No, but who said they wanted to fight you?
Who said they wanted to fight you? I'm laying on my couch like this. I pick up. I'm not trying to fight anyone. I'm still on FaceTime, and the man's trying to fight with me. I'm like, am I really gonna get up and fight a man right now? He wanted to fight me in my own house. Like, come on. You're not gonna interrupt my movie and try and fight me now.
I came out and I was like, what's going on? And he had already walked out at that time. And you're like, I don't know. Like, you just look like you were in shock.
Yeah.
You're just like,
he stormed out of my house.
He just stormed out. And then all I hear him from the elevator, he's like, Talia, come here. Talia, come here. I was like, okay, like, can you give me a second? I'm trying to talk. He's like, come here now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'll just talk to you when I come back, because I'm like, this guy's about to.
Because the fight was about to
set
go
the whole building on fire. Like, it was so aggressive.
And I remember going to your house and seeing you guys fight, and I was like,
yeah, I think that was the time he broke his phone.
This was before that fight between me and him happened, but I remember, like, he would FaceTime me randomly or, like, call me, like he did with all of Talia's friends. And I answered, I was like, yeah, and then he was like, come upstairs. I'm like, what? Come upstairs? And I heard you in the background crying, so I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because
and I ran.
The thing is why I think I can't remember half these fights is because it wasn't a fight. Like, I remember things being, like, I would say something or do something that he didn't want or didn't like, and then suddenly he was leaving me. Like, that was always what it came down to. Like, if I just did something he didn't like. I remember one time I accidentally picked up his brother's underwear. And I didn't know it was his brother's. Like, I just picked it up. Like, I saw underwear on the floor and I was in the bathroom and I just picked it up. And then we were talking on the phone. I was like, oh. And then it came out after that it was his brother's. But I was like, okay, I'll just put it in his room. And he's like, don't do that. And I'm like, well, I already did it. Like, because his room's literally, like, the bathroom and his room are like that. You know what I mean? So I'd already, like, went and thrown it on his bed. You know? Like, I'm like, I already did it, so it doesn't matter. End of the world. End of the world. That was a whole fight. Like,
am I gonna fuck your brother?
Yeah, he literally, that's also what he said too. I was like, what? I'm like, no offense, but your brother's a year older than me and he left his underwear on the floor.
I don't want that, baby.
And then he's also your brother. Like, how? Come on. Come on now. Like, have, like, some morals.
I'm remembering that fight, and that was so intense. I came upstairs, I hear screaming.
Because I was begging him not to leave.
Going in. Yeah, and you were like, don't leave, and you were like holding him, and he's like, bro, go me, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm trying to get in the middle, like, stop.
Yeah, he broke a glass.
They were powerful.
He fucking ripped my shirt.
The glass went like this, the glass went everywhere all over the floor, and I said, please watch where you're stepping. You were walking like there was no glass on the ground. I'm like, Talia, you're gonna step on glass. You're like, you're crying. I was like, fuck.
It's so funny too, because when you're in that, you don't see how fucking stupid you are and like how hysterical you're acting.
Like, bro,
over
let
fucking
him leave.
over
he
that.
Wants to leave. Let that guy
yeah,
leave.
like exactly. Like I'm like, I look back. That's why I'm laughing, because I'm a joke. I'm the joke here. Like, what the fuck? Like, let him go on about his day. Like, who cares?
Because I remember you wanting to talk and work things out. You were like, I understand. You were just like, I'm sorry. Can we please talk about it?
But that was never a thing with him, anyways. There was never a.
There was no long talking. I was like. Yeah. That's when I already, like, please tell you, just leave that man alone. But she had to figure out on her own to leave him alone.
That was bad too, because I remember I was like, after that fight, I was covered in bruises and he didn't even attack me.
Oh, God. Bye, guys.
I didn't feel violated until after we broke up. Because it's like I almost didn't realize I was violated. I just ignored it until like it was brought up again, and then I heard that he had done it to other girls. And then I was like, oh. That's not normal. Why did I think that that was normal? One night we were sleeping and I woke up and he was on top of me. And like he had like just nutted inside me.
Like, huh?
And I wasn't drunk, and he wasn't drunk. Like, we didn't drink like that, and like, yeah, like it wasn't like that. Like, I don't know. And I remember asking him like, why didn't you just wake me up? And he was like, oh, like you just look peaceful. I just didn't want to wake you up. And I remember being like, okay.
But it's like I could have been enjoying it too, and now you just made that weird.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, now I'm awake. Like, I remember laying there and like just listening to him snore, and I was like, what the fuck, like, all right. I don't know, like, I don't understand why you want to have sex with somebody that's sleeping. He would say fucked up things, like, he would ask me to buy him things during sex. And if I said no, he would fuck me harder. And like, when I mean like buy him things, like he'd ask me to buy him a chain. Or like a pendant he saw. And like, I don't know, it's like, it's weird. Like, and then he would get mad after the fact. And be like, oh, so like, you're really not getting it for me? Like, no, I don't have $5,000 right now for a pendant that says goat. Baby, I live on the poverty line. Like, I already spent so much money on you and your daughter. I don't understand, like, what the fuck?
You used to buy, everywhere you went, you would buy stuff for his daughter.
Yeah, and I felt like an obligation to because his daughter wasn't here. You know what I mean? So like, because she's not around and you only see her a few times a year, I feel like she should be extremely spoiled and thought of. You know what I mean? Like, it should show that she's thought of. And because I had only met her like a few times, I don't know, to me I felt like I had to push that like extra step in. Plus I just wanted to, like, it wasn't, he never asked me to do it, but I just wanted to buy things for his kid. I had no problem doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That was not the issue. But it was interesting because sometimes he would get mad that I spent so much money on her, but then ask me for things that were like 5 times the price of what I spent on her. Like, I don't understand that. I guess, yeah, we're coming to the ending now. Me and him got into a fight over spending time together because I asked him if I could come to his house, I think it was like a couple hours earlier, to like spend more time with him that weekend, because the weekend before he had gotten into a fight with his neighbor and spent the whole weekend, first half of the weekend arguing with them, and then the second half over at their house balling up. He literally wasted the whole weekend with his neighbor. So I was just like, yeah, like, can I come a bit like a few hours earlier? And he was like, no, because I'm playing 2K. And I'm like, okay, so you can't just like turn off the game? That literally spiraled into a huge fight that lasted basically 2 weeks, like on and off. And it was weird because after like the first week and a half, I didn't even think we were fighting anymore because he would still talk to me. He would still ask me for things. He was still asking me to come over. Like, it was so strange. Like, it was like we were together, but we weren't together. Like, he'd be good for 2 days and then another day he'd start ignoring me. And it was strange because this is the same person that has to be on the phone with me 24/7. So obviously we all know what happened. He found someone else. Like, I'm not fucking stupid. So.
Good luck to that.
What'd you say, Kelly?
Good luck to that bitch.
She's the next victim, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like, I feel bad. Like, it's not a good look. But yeah, so obviously he found someone else, like, whatever. I had the feeling that that's what was happening, but obviously I didn't want to fully admit it to myself. I'm still gonna fight for my relationship. I spent basically 2 weeks going crazy trying to talk to him. I even made fake accounts to try to talk to this guy because he would just block me. Like, he wouldn't even talk to me. Like, it didn't even make sense. It was 2 days before we officially broke up. He started talking to me again, and he was basically acting like, you know, we were cool. So I'm here thinking like, okay.
Because he missed your birthday and you were looking good that day.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He missed my birthday, yeah. Like, he didn't even call me on my birthday. He texted me, I think, but that was it. I didn't get no birthday gift, nothing.
But you made sure to gift him. You used to buy him the same Puma tracksuit Amanda's always wearing. Like, you bought that man his Timberlands.
Don't forget the Kobe jersey.
Yep.
I know you love that ever so. And that was just so dumb expensive. That's the thing that pissed me off about that jersey. But anyways, where was I?
Bro,
Sorry, you just got me so off
Can
track
you talk
now.
about the car?
Well, yeah, I was about to get there. But I was like, where was I? Because I was like, I swear I bought him a car. So yeah.
Damn!
Huh? What? Kelly, I know! So it's a joke. It's so funny. It's so funny. Like, the comments are gonna be hilarious. People are gonna be laughing at me like, this dumb bitch. The last weekend I was with him, the same weekend he was fighting with his neighbors and all that shit, we got the car that weekend. And that was the last weekend I saw him. I sat in that car once. And yeah, he left me after that. So yeah, no, it was 2 days before he left me. Yeah, like we were talking still. And I think it was his daughter's birthday that day. So I went out and I bought a bunch of gifts for her. Like I spent like $600 and I wrapped them all. And I was like, I'm gonna come, like, you know, drop the gifts off this weekend and we can talk. He just stopped responding. He just went AWOL. And I started texting him like a crazy person because I started losing my shit. And I was like, what's going on? Like, this is confusing me. After 2 days of him not messaging me, or I think it was 3 days, because he turned off his phone because I was like calling him, no caller ID. Like, I was going like a psychopath. I can't even lie. I was acting like a mad crazy bitch. I was acting insane.
But you just like...
I just wanted answers. I just really wanted to understand because of like, this doesn't even make sense. I don't even know why we're fighting now. Like, now I'm lost. So I just wanted some type of, I guess, closure, which I never got. But we'll get there. His mom said that he was outside working on his car that morning. So the second I got that message, I was like, okay. So I hopped in an Uber, I brought all the gifts, and I went to his house, and he wasn't there. His car wasn't even there. He wasn't outside. So I knocked on the door, his dad answered, and his dad kind of looked at me like confused. It's like, nah, he's not there. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, I have these, you know, for your granddaughter, so you can take these. And yeah. And he was like, okay. It was once, I stepped foot in my door. He was calling me. And I was like, what the fuck? I was shocked because this is the first time the man picked up the phone to call me in like 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure. So I was like, what the fuck? I was like, hello? And I was crying, obviously. And he was like, he was really mad at first. He's like, why the fuck did you come to my house? And I was like, I came to drop off the gifts for your daughter, like, what the fuck? And I wanted to talk to you, but you weren't home, so. Then he was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. Like, can we talk? Or like, are we gonna be able to talk in person? Because like, I don't know what's going on right now. I think he said something like, I just don't want to talk to you, or
Yeah, and I remember him hanging up in your face. Like,
yeah, literally.
Like you were about to say something and he just hung up in your face. I was like, no fucking respect.
Then he texted me. And we can put the screenshots in. I have that. This is done. It's been done. Fuck off. Some shit like that. I just stopped calling him. I didn't try after that. Because at that point, I knew. Like, what the fuck? He couldn't even tell me why he didn't want to talk to me. So I'm like, you must be fucking with someone else. Like, I'm not stupid.
Bro, what day was it when you came to my house and I thought somebody died? Like, the way you were crying. You were like, he's gone. He's gone. I was like, huh?
Talia is so dramatic.
No,
it's really the cancer in me.
No word of a lie.
Because
I'm at my house chilling. I just hear this. The police are here. I'm going to jail. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. It's Talia, and her eyes are red. She's crying. She's like red, and I'm like, what the fuck? And you couldn't even make out words because you're hyperventilating. She was like, Destiny, he's gone. He's gone. No word of a lie. The wall is here. As soon as she's saying that, she drops down. Oh god. And almost had a concussion on the floor because she threw herself because she was so mad that the man left.
I don't remember this.
I was like, huh? And my mom was like, go, no, get your friend because she's not going to be crying like this over a piece of man.
Yeah, there were so many times he always threatened to leave my ass, so.
Did you have abandonment issues?
Yeah.
Sometimes?
I mean, yeah, because of how, I think it was because of how my first ex left me. I'm not gonna move like I'm fucking innocent and like I didn't argue with the man and say shit. Like, of course I did, but I never did anything to him.
And you never said
Never
shit on
once.
his level, ever?
Never once. I think the only thing I ever said, to be honest, that I still regret saying, just because it gave him one up to hold against me, and because it looked so bad on my character when I was like, oh, I'm gonna come key your car. But you kind of should have known after the first threat that it wasn't real. Like, in my opinion, like if I threatened to do it the first time and I never showed up, and then Days later, I threatened to do it again. Obviously, I'm not doing it.
Well,
and I
he
wasn't
threatened to kill you both, so.
But I wasn't gonna key a car that I paid for anyways. Like, I looked at it as like a gift. Like, I didn't care at the end of the day. Like, I'm not gonna ruin your things because I'm mad at you. I'm not petty like that to this day. Like, I know some people are gonna be like, why didn't you take the car back? Like, for one, I couldn't because I'm pretty sure it's in his mother's name or something. But
you just gave him cash.
yeah,
right?
I just gave him the money. I didn't even pay attention to it like that. Like, I didn't even take out the money. He took out the money from my account. Yeah, like, he knew my account passwords. Like, he did it. You get what I'm saying? Now, the last weekend I was with him, I think that was when I also kind of knew, like, this wasn't gonna work. We went to McDonald's one morning to get food, and I remember buying like $40 worth of food. Like, I bought a lot of food because we were hungry. We got in the car, and I didn't get French fries because I didn't want them, but then I started smelling them, and like, you know, I wanted some, so whatever. So I went in the bag and I ate literally 2 French fries. And when I mean this man lost his shit.
Thank you. Damn, that show do look good. Can I get some? Get your fucking hand back.
This man lost his shit. Why the fuck are you eating my fries? Blah, 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 blah. I told you to just fucking get fries when we were there. Why didn't you fucking get any? I'm like, I don't even want any more. Like, I literally just wanted, like, you know, like 4 fries. It was the end of the world. And I'm like, okay, go back then and I'll buy fries since it's such a big deal. And he's like, no, I'm not fucking going back, blah, 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 blah. And then that escalated to basically, I'm gonna kill us both. And he started driving like a maniac down the road, heading towards a school, basically. But I knew he wasn't gonna crash into the school. Like, he did this shit, like.
That just reminded me of another story. I think when we were going somewhere, I followed them to the mall one time because they were going. I'm like, yeah, I want to go to, I need the ride, I'm not gonna take the bus. So we were there, whatever.
Poverty.
Now you get out of this place, you stink with poverty.
We went to Walmart, and like, I remember when we went to Heartland too, that day, like, I made sure, it wasn't even his car, mind you, it was Talia's mom's car, but I gave him like money to put in the gas tank since you're driving me to go get the camera, so here's some money for gas. And like, he filled up the gas, whatever, and then we went to Walmart. You guys got those Chibit things that you liked, what is it, Crispers? And I never tried Crispers in my life, so I was like, oh, Crispers, like, are they good? And I don't know, he said something like, yeah, they're good, I like this flavor, whatever, and I was like, oh, can I try one? I remember, I'm just like, bro, I said 1 first of all, and you literally, it was on sale. They bought like literally 9 bags, and like, not even one to try. And then you were like, she just wants to try it. Like, don't be so fucking greedy. And then he listened to you, because I guess he took in like, you're acting weird. And then he gave me one to try, but that was already weirdo behavior from like the beginning. Like, what the fuck? I said, can I try one? Why are you getting so pissed? And I put gas in the car, so like,
I don't even remember that. That's so strange. Wow, this video is everywhere. I think we were just at the part where he left me. I guess maybe I just had enough at that point, because I feel like I had seen it before, but I was just like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm getting cussed over 4 French fries that I purchased in a car that I purchased. You're threatening to kill me in a car that I purchased. Are you fucking serious right now? And then the cherry on top, we got home. I go to the bathroom, I come back, he threw out all my food and his because he was mad. What the fuck? Yeah, so wasted my money, then I had to order food. What type of fuckery? Just grow up, man. Grow up. You're doing too much, man. I'm actually pissed off. I'm not even pissed off about the car, I'm pissed off about my fucking McDonald's. So fucking rude. He left me and I'm doing great now. We're thriving. I'm assuming he left me for the same person that he was with, but I don't really know.
oh, you don't know the time frame?
I have a feeling that he was basically, when he was asking me to come over to have sex and I was saying no because he was treating me like shit, I'm pretty sure he was fucking her at those times. Because I remember him clearly being like, yeah, well, if you come over, you have to hide from my mom. Right after my birthday, a couple days after. He wanted me to come over to have sex. But yeah, he was saying I had to hide from his mom, which didn't make any sense because I been going to your house, been knowing your mom. Like, why would I have to hide from your mom unless your mom saw you bring another girl over and you're saying that you're not with me? Which is probably the case. He messaged me twice after he basically told me to go fuck myself. Yeah, they were months apart, very sporadic. He messaged me on like all social platforms. On Instagram, he texted me, he messaged me on Facebook, like, I don't know, but it was like all at once, and he was just like, hey, like, I hope you're okay, or something like that. And then it was like, don't tell your mom and your aunt that I messaged you. And I was like, what? Like, what do they have to do with anything? So I don't know if my mom contacted him on her own time. I'm guessing she did.
Saying, leave my daughter alone.
Yeah, probably. And I'm guessing my aunt did the same, because I mean, you can only hide so much of what's going on to a certain degree. Like, obviously they didn't know in depth of what I just told you guys, but you hear fighting, you hear arguing. They're not stupid, you know, they're gonna catch on that something's not up. And it was obviously toxic. And my mom saw him punch a hole in the wall for no reason, so I think she knew at that point.
Like, how did you feel throughout that relationship?
Definitely like I wasn't myself. Like, I don't know. He always had this way of making me feel like I wasn't good enough. Like, he was always comparing me to his child's mother. And if it wasn't even that, he would just like do things, or like literally say things. Like, again, with sex, like we'd be having sex and he'd literally be fucking me and telling me like, oh, you know, if you got a fatter ass, this would be so much better. Yeah. Or like just work out for me, and like weird things like that. So there was a lot of like manipulation emotionally, but it was always tied to sex. Oh, and that's another thing I always forgot about. Every time, after every physical altercation, he always wanted to have sex. It was like his way, I guess, of making himself feel better for like what he did. But it was crazy because it makes, well, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but it made me feel like fucking shit. Like, it was so, like, I don't know even why I allowed that. We don't have to have sex tonight. You literally just punched me. Yeah, like, you literally just choked me out. Like, I can't move my head to the side. Like, there's no reason for us to be having sex right now. I shouldn't even really be sleeping next to you, but yeah, but he'd always want to have sex. And then like after that, it would always be fucked up because I'd always be crying. And then he would be like comforting me, even though he was the same person that was hurting me. But I didn't realize that like sexual stuff really did affect me until I started like sleeping with other people. And like I would like randomly start crying like during sex or before sex or after sex, and before I wasn't like that. I wasn't crying during sex. Like, for what the fuck am I crying about? Like, and I didn't understand why I would like get triggered like that, and now I kind of get it. Wish him the best, you know. Hopefully he fixes up and thrives. I guess for all you guys watching, if you've experienced something like this, comment down below, you know, let me know what you guys went through, or if you can relate. But yeah, fuck, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to end this video on like a happy note, because now I'm in like a weird mood. So
it's just like all the memories.
Yeah, because now I'm like really starting to think about things that I haven't thought about in a while. I'm like, fuck, he might very well watch this. And I just said a lot. Well, if you guys liked what you saw, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, that's about it. Bye-bye.